Well done. Welcome to the Happy Gaijin. I'm Nathan. As you know, this is the Wednesday stream. And as always, it's great to have you here. And to continue the conversation, I've just put out a very short update on the channel about a streamer who created a lot of controversy, a lot of noise, a lot of conversation, has been in the media quite a bit, and we finally sort of know what's going to be happening. So check that one out. But that's what we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about mainly what is it like streaming in Japan. Should you be worried about streaming in Japan? And not just that, but the umbrella goes out to, like filming things, when you should film, when you shouldn't film, etc. Wednesdays are usually a little bit more chill. So, questions and answers. I will try to answer your questions, and I'm sure the people in the stream will also try to help you out too. Apart from that, we're here to just hang out too on the middle of the week. Very soon to be Christmas. Indeed, and I am feeling better. It's just turned into a cough. So excuse me if I start coughing. All right. No, I said coughing. I start coughing. Japan. Hello again. Hello. I always like to say hello to everyone at the beginning. Can't stop. Just want to say hi. Thanks for being here. Little Big Sis is here also. And Frog Lady is here also, common commenter, Little Big Sis. And common commenter says, any Tokyo Bananas left? Actually, surprisingly, yes. I do have some Tokyo Bananas left. Yeah. Will I finish them before I head back to Japan, though? That's a question. I probably will, to be honest. But, yeah. And as always, I am very interested to see what you guys have to say. And I look forward to your comments. Yay! Ooh, and it seems like my browser has frozen, so let me just get that one up and running again before we continue. Restore chat, please. For some reason, the chat decided to die on me. Oh, and that means that this has changed also. Sorry, apologies, but this does happen every now and then. It just froze. So, here we go. No one has a right to visit another country and being an ass about it should see you fined and deported. Yeah, for those of you who are joining in right now, maybe you just come from the premiere. There's this dude called Johnny Somali. For a very long time, I've actually not wanted to even mention his name on the channel. I've not wanted to give him any exposure. I haven't wanted people to go and search for him. And I stood by that for quite a few months, actually, for quite a while. Even when people were talking about it in the chat, I would actually tell people to not talk about it in the chat because I didn't want any sort of give him any attention. However, it's become so mainstream that even international news outlets have been speaking about this in the past few months. And recently, there's been an update for those of you who are watching now. Yesterday, he appeared in court. And it seems that it looks like he's going to be fined 200,000 yen, which is about $1,400, more or less. And it seems that he will be deported from the country. And the likelihood is that he will be banned to return to the country, although we don't know. He will be sentenced at the beginning of January, so we do have to wait a little bit to find out exactly what happens. Now, I think a lot of people wanted a much harsher punishment. Personally, I think it would have been good for him to have a much harsher punishment. I think that unfortunately, when people get away, and I'm not saying that he's got away with it because he is being banned from Japan, or deported probably, which is quite a big deal. However, I think there needs to be a little bit of a stronger stance, in my opinion. The good thing is that at the same time, people who are thinking of being idiots in Japan will hopefully get the message, which is, you're an idiot. You're gonna be deported, and we're gonna make it really uncomfortable for you, because it's not gonna be a nice ride. You might get a trip back to your country, but you're gonna spend a number of days behind bars in a very uncomfortable setting, which I'm sure Johnny Somali has exactly been in that situation. So, yeah. If he did that here in Australia, he would have been fed to the crocodiles. I think what the interesting thing that will be, Amnesta mainly, and all of you in the chat really, the interesting thing will be how many people what will be the reaction to the Japanese population? How will they react to the sentencing? Will they think it's too lenient? Because there seem to be quite a large Japanese social media presence asking for an example to be made out of Johnny Somali. I'm not very sure how people inside Japan are going to feel about that basically. Do you think it's enough? Do you think it's not been enough? Not sure. Yeah. What are your thoughts anyway? In the comment section, just remind me, or in the chat, remind me. Number one, for those of you who are new, also, where are you watching from? What the time is? What the weather's like? And also, you can give me a little bit of your opinion. What are your thoughts when it comes to this? Do you think it's too lenient? Do you think more should have been done? Is being expelled from the country enough? Do you think the fine is too small? Yeah, just let me know. Let me know as I get my Coke Zero ready. Kanpai. And don't forget to like the video or like the stream, as it will help quite a bit. I have been pleased to see the Japanese response seems to be anti-nuisance streamer and not as much anti-foreigner or anti-streamer. Yeah, I understand, and that's one of the things that I was a little bit worried about when I traveled to Japan a few weeks ago. I was worried about streaming for that specific reason, but I noticed really two things. Number one, I noticed a lot more stores and a lot more indoor places with signs specifically saying no streaming. Before, there were signs that might have said no camera, but there were actually signs that said no streaming. So that is one thing, which I don't think is necessarily a bad thing. It just means that now it's much clear. It's clear cut whether or not you should be streaming in a place or not. Generally, if there's no sign or anything, you do need to read the room. You need to read the air, look around, and think, is this an appropriate place to stream? I always do that. Occasionally, even when I go to an izakaya, I go to an indoor place, I will ask, can I stream? Sometimes they say to me, you need to stream. If you stream, you can only, don't point at anybody else, just point at you. Sometimes they say no, and that's absolutely fine. And sometimes they're like, absolutely fine, yeah, and they join in, and everybody's like in the stream. So yeah, I think that it's going to, and it will continue to become more clear cut where you can stream and where you can't stream. Unfortunately, it might mean that some places that originally didn't have signs and sort of like turned a blind eye and didn't really care might start putting up signs saying no streaming. It's not necessarily an anti-foreigner thing. However, it is an anti-foreigner, but I think that you do need to approach the whole streaming thing just a little bit differently with more common sense because of this idiot, personally. So as long as he's not allowed back into Japan, I think they will be fine with that. Personally, I think it's too lenient. Yeah, well, we'll see. And also, Frog Lady, we'll see what he gets up to outside of Japan. I guess you could say that he's amassed a sort of following. I don't know, do you think he's got a following? And I wonder if he's going to end up gaining from this, if that makes any sense. It would be absolutely disgusting, but I wouldn't be surprised because that's the way that the world works, right? Don't worry, man. I'm just to have a good day at work. Hey Nick, how you doing? First time from UK. Hey, I'm glad it's costing him financially. Plus, he was held in jail, prison whilst he was being charged, but not sure of the length. I think a ban would be fair. Yeah, I think a ban would be fair. And where in the UK are you from, by the way, Nick? I studied in Wales for some time, and I have family in the east of the UK, so I know the UK quite well. I lived in the UK. I lived in Wales for a few years, and I travel to the UK quite often. So, but yeah, Nick, I sort of agree, but I think, I mean, do you think 200,000 yen, about 1,000, I guess 1,250 pounds or so, is like a big fine? But I must admit that he probably had a very horrible time in, being held in whatever, in the police, by the police, in jail or wherever he was. I'm not very sure how the system works when he's being held, but it would be interesting to find out, really. Wow. So I will be streaming when I am I was going to say in the UK. I will be streaming when I am in Japan, and I will be in Japan in about 6 days time, actually. So I will leave in about 6 days time. So I will be Japan in a week's time. I will be back in Japan, and my aim is to stream. I will probably stream every day, and in terms of the stream, the likelihood is I will have a stream before I leave. I'll also have an update on Ninja Monkey, or some kind of video on Ninja Monkey before I leave. And I'm going to try and actually film another one so that I have one that goes live whilst I'm in Japan also, basically. However, my aim is to do some streaming, and I'd love to get some ideas from you. What sort of streams you'd like to see, what sort of areas you'd like me to visit. And the majority of the streams, if not all of the streams, will likely be on this channel, not on Ninja Monkey. The whole idea is this channel is going to be a channel where it's a little bit more casual, with live streams, where the live streams are a little bit less curated, a little bit more chill, more question and answer sort of live streams. And when I'm in Japan, I'll be doing in real life streaming and showing you around on this channel rather than on Ninja Monkey. That is the aim. So, hey, okay. From London, but now live on the coast about 30 minutes west of Brighton. Taking my first trip to Japan in April for 2 weeks. Awesome, Nick. Well, if we can help you, we will. Then the Happy Ninja, the Ninja Monkey stream is usually the one where there's a lot of people like coming on talking about trips and itineraries, etc. So I do recommend, if I do one on Sunday, that you join that one. It would be probably good to ask any questions. And in terms of that you live 30 minutes from the coast of Brighton, my family are pretty much Eastbourne based, so I'm guessing it's near your area. Hey, the pilot lad. Kind of missed the time. Oopsie, don't worry, dude. Don't worry. I'm not very sure how long this stream is going to be, because, as you can see, I'm still a little bit banged up. And I'm going to count that premiere from that video that I just put out as a little bit of the time as a streaming time, if that makes any sense. I try to stream for an hour on a Wednesday and for an hour and a half on a Sunday. That's what I try to go for. But yeah, I'm always looking out for ideas when it comes to streaming. Like, where do you want me to go? Where do you want me to stream? In mostly in Tokyo, I think. Hey Tawada, how are you doing, my man? It's so cold in Kyoto, but there is no wind, so it's not so miserable right now. Nice. Yeah, wind can make such a difference between like having a nice trip and not having a nice trip. Like, it can be the nicest hot day at the beach, but when it gets windy, it spoils it, right? So the same in the winter. And that comment about the bath in the place that you're staying sounds amazing. I love public baths. I love onsen. And I've said this so many times. I wish I could have an onsen review channel. I swear I do. It would be amazing if I could. Really. Frog Lady says, I love the weather like that because I come from the tropics. I love to wear my coat and boots. Me too. I feel the same way. I have, back here, I have a wardrobe full of coats and jackets I don't get to wear here. So I'm really looking forward to packing those away for Japan. In fact, I would say that today's been a relatively cold day here in Gibraltar. I live in Gibraltar, for those of you who don't know. Gibraltar's in the very south tip of Europe. And it's been about 15 or 16 degrees Celsius has been the maximum. So not super cold, but not cold enough to wear like a big jacket, if that makes any sense. And during the night, it's probably going down to 10 degrees or something, or 11 degrees, I'm guessing. So it's not super, super cold either. So I do look forward to that. Haha, Japan. Frog Lady, I get it completely. Having a Japan wardrobe and having a Cannes one, I get it. In fact, the rate that I'm going, one of my Japanese friends said, why don't you leave some of the stuff in my house? And I might actually end up doing that. I might end up having an actual wardrobe in Japan. If that makes any sense. I hate Kyoto people too, Ada. You cannot hate Kyoto people. They are so refined and cultured and make me feel so small. Why? You're refined and cultured, I'm sure, Tawada, right? Hey Jesse, how are you doing? Jesse, we've just been talking about streaming in Japan, and how I'm a little bit apprehensive since everything that's happened. But at the same time, I've always been, for those of you who've been following me for a while now, you know, probably some of you for years now, I've always been very respectful. I'm a firm believer in doing as the locals do, and I really believe, I really love and admire the culture of the country, so I try to blend in as much as I can. And I know that there are times when live streaming, you know, isn't going to be the right thing to do. There are situations where it's okay to stream, and there are situations when it's not okay to stream. And there are times when I'm streaming and I can clearly see that the people in front of me are a little bit uncomfortable with me streaming. So I make sure that I point my camera away from them. You know, those are the things that sort of, just be a respectful streamer. Generally, follow the signs and rules, especially if it says no streaming. In fact, you know, I've actually been to some places and I've had a few drinks and there's been a sign saying no streaming in the past. And I've asked, why is there a sign no streaming? You know, after having a few drinks. And they've explained to me it's because whatever, there's been a nuisance or whatever, and a big gathering of people. And I've said to them, well, I was hoping to stream, but obviously I won't. And they said, no, you can stream if you want. So they've changed their mind. Sometimes it's just a matter of getting to know you a little bit also, which is the great thing about going to like an izakaya every day, or going to the same sort of areas and getting to know people a little bit. You know, they might be more happy with you streaming. But I also think that the conversation goes beyond streaming. It also goes into the whole photography and taking video. Um, and I think there's one thing that is very noticeable in Japan compared to Europe, anyway, in my opinion. And that is that, especially in the last few years, there's increasingly a lot more no camera signs, no photo signs or no video signs. Um, Obviously, in Europe, in museums, etc., it will be the same. But I'm talking about in stores, general stores, etc. You might see a sign saying no photography. You might see a sign saying no video or whatever. That's becoming more and more common in Japan, and I don't think we really get that here in Europe. I don't know what it's like in your country. So there is certainly clear guidelines or clear signs that you should follow, and I think it's important that you do follow them. Now, there are some places where you will definitely see signs for no photos, and that is at in the inner temple of a shrine or whatever. You know that you'll see, like when you get to the close to the center of the temple in Japan, you will see a sign that says no photography. And obviously, you know, I am always respectful and I never take any photos or any video. In fact, I see lots of people around me, other foreigners, doing so, but I don't. And the fact of the matter is that a lot of these places, if you really wanted to find a photo because you haven't taken a photo, you will be able to find one online. So if you wanted to tell someone, like, I went to this place but I couldn't take a photo, but this is what it looks like, I can get one online. Sometimes even the temple itself might have official, or you know, like, or Wikipedia or permission, you know, like photos with permission. So yeah, survived to Christmas break, so good now, yay. Maybe you will like Santori Hall in Asakusa, Tokyo. It is incredible beyond compare. Asakusa women's style is so beautiful. I want to go. I know I would love it, says Frog Lady. I like people watch because I am in awe of how beautiful the women are. I love people watching also. I think that people watching is one of my favorite things to do, having a coffee and just checking, you know, imagining what people are getting up to. There's a bunch of no camera signs in Nakamisedori. Yeah, and also you gotta be careful that there are some camera signs that are more deterrents. I still follow them though. I mean, one of my local friends in Kyoto told me there's some no photography signs in the Gion district in some areas, and one of my Kyoto friends said those are meaningless. There's no rule, there's no law. They cannot really fine you. You know, these have been put up specifically by the locals as a deterrent mainly. So, you know, but I still respect it, you know. Who hasn't? Caught. Haha. Nick says, I think it's a shame about filming, streaming, as sometimes you want to share your experience, but at the same time you don't want to make people feel uncomfortable. I think the good thing is that we live in a society now, Nick, where bringing out a camera or streaming or that kind of thing is becoming more and more normal. So especially as a tourist, especially as a Westerner, and I want to turn things around, and that is, there's always been this sort of like image of Japanese people always having a camera with them, tourists, you know, like if you had to draw a caricature of a Japanese tourist in Paris or in London, you'd always wear them with, you'd always draw them or see them with a camera, right? Like a cartoon character. And the fact is that over there it's the other way around, you know, as Western tourists who look a little bit differently, we're the ones that they would probably you know, draw as with a camera because we're tourists after all. And I don't think you should worry too much as long as you're not pointing the camera directly at someone. I mean, if there's a group of people in front of you, obviously there's no problem. But if there's a woman or a child, just don't take a photo or film that person, and generally just follow the rule, follow the signs. But I think you can share your experiences. I don't think there's any problem with doing so, and I think that you won't make people feel uncomfortable unless you specifically point the camera at them, and I'm not talking about from a distance, so don't worry too much. Women in general are trouble. Gotta go again. See you then next year again, or even around Kyoto if you do decide to come around. Thanks, Pilot Lad. Thanks. The Asian tourists with cameras are in almost all cases Chinese. Yeah, or whatever, but you know what this, you get what I'm saying right here. Basically, the things have turned the other way around for us. And the funny thing is that we as Westerners, if you look Western, and I don't want to generalize either, because there are Asian people who are Westerners who have been brought up in the West. But if you're Caucasian, I guess is the right way to say it. You are actually going to be the minority of tourists, because the majority of tourists in Japan are actually Asian. Chinese bring up the biggest part of tourism is actually Chinese normally, and Caucasian or Westerners are usually much less. Surprisingly, a lot of the time we think that we are the number one tourists in Japan, and the only reason that we might think that is because we look different, and this is the fact. This is the truth, I think. Just don't be a pain in the backside and people won't worry. Yeah, on that note, actually, something that's really interesting, which as a Westerner, you might actually end up getting some Japanese people asking you to take photos with them, or even Chinese people or other Asian tourists asking to take photos with them. And yeah, it was really funny because once I was in Asakusa, and this woman came up to me and she said, "Oh, can I take a photo with you? Can I take a photo with you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." So she came next to me, and she called her two children, like her little boy, a little girl, very cute little boy, very cute little girl, and they took a photo with their camera. And then I said, "Can I take a photo?" Obviously, so I took a photo. And then looking back at the photo, I was really, really laughing because it looked like I was a husband and she was a wife and they were my kids. It was like the family portrait of the family that I don't have. It was so hilarious. So you will have people asking you for photos in the most random of times. So many Muslims in Japan now. It is so interesting. Yeah, even though Japan continues to be like whatever 99.9% Japanese, there are slowly you could start seeing other cultures sort of like getting in there, which is pretty cool. I agree. Interesting and needed. So, yeah. Ooh. Don't forget, guys, if you have any questions about travel, about what you think I should be doing on my trip to Japan, any suggestions, I really appreciate it. Totally appreciate it, actually. Because at the moment, my trip is nearly a blank canvas at the moment. I have a few people that I want to do things with, but I need to get down and actually jot down some dates. At the moment, I'm going to meet Mariko. I think it's going to be on the 4th of January in the evening in her house with her husband. I think she's going to do a party or something. So that's on the 4th, and then I will meet Oriental Pearl probably 2 or 3 times, I'm guessing. But she'll be busy with her husband during New Year's period, so I need to figure out when she can fit me in. Better said. I'd like to meet up Mayoten, subscriber. He's not normally in the chat because time difference, but I would love to meet him. There's quite a few people that I'd like to meet. I have some video ideas. Probably I'm gonna aim to film 3 videos max, something like that. When do I leave? I leave on the 26th of December, so the day after Christmas Day. In the UK we call that Boxing Day, and I will leave quite early in the morning, so I need to drive to the airport, which is about an hour, well, altogether 2 hours, in between parking and everything, getting to the airport 2 hours. So I'll probably leave at 6 a.m. from my house. That will get me in at 8, and then my flight is like at 10:30 in the morning, my first flight, and then I have a very short layover, which is going to be quite nice. Hopefully it all works out, and I should arrive in Tokyo on the 27th at around 2 p.m. or 2:30 p.m. quite early, quite a nice time. I haven't done that time slot for landing in quite a while, so I'm expecting it to be busy at immigration and getting through customs, etc. at that time, but we'll see. I shall report. I think maybe you may like Dogashima. You can ride the ferry from Namazu. Ooh, I'm sure I would. Go shopping in a supermarket and show people how cheap it is to eat in Japan when you do as the locals do. Yeah, that might be a good one, for sure. Only Canadians, really. Well, I'm British, and I guess that maybe Boxing Day is something to do with the Commonwealth countries. Maybe? Canada. Canada. I just invented a new country called Canada. In fact, it sounds kind of cooler than Canada. Canada. Canada being a Commonwealth country probably is the reason why, I'm guessing. Have I ever done a Kita Kamakura video? Yes and no. I filmed a whole video in that area, and then I lost it all. So maybe I might have to do that again. North of Tokyo looks so beautiful. I wish I learned to drive, as it would be so fun to drive through some of those mountainous towns with hot springs. Yeah, Nick. First of all, it's very cold in that area at this time of the year. However, you'd be surprised how far and how extensive public transportation is in Japan. The only thing is that the more like countryside or small town the place becomes, the less frequent public transportation is. So you can do a lot of the places you can do with a lot of really good planning. The train might zoom you to a close to some of these hot springs, and then you might have to just keep an eye on the time schedule for the time tape for the bus. A lot of these onsens also have their own shuttle buses, and they even have their own like buses, so that isn't usually a problem. And my biggest recommendation really is, if you're going to go up north, even if you're not driving, why not choose somewhere and use that as a base to potentially use public transport for 2 or 3 days exploring the north of Japan. I actually traveled the north of Japan extensively last year over the summer, not Hokkaido though, Tohoku, and I haven't done a video on that yet, but will be coming. Ooh, Australia also has Boxing Day, so maybe it is a Commonwealth thing. Very cool. katsudon or curry katsudon? Both. I love the katsu part of the katsudon. So, hey Jim, how you doing, my man? I'm still here suffering, but I'm feeling better. It's just become a cough, and it's just all it's all gone to my nose. But hopefully, I'll be flying in 6 days' time, so hopefully I'll be out of this by then. So Commonwealth, US doesn't really do Boxing Day. There you go. There you go. Japan mountain driving is so dangerous. I will never do it. And the countryside is becoming so infested with bears and wild pigs. Tawada, you always have a way of bringing the sunshine out of a what's supposed to be a beautiful situation. Everything is better with curry. Yeah, Japanese curry is pretty good, I must say. I do like curry. But you know, I'm not always in the mood for curry. You have to be in the mood for curry also. And but give me curry any day over like a McDonald's. If I ever feel like, oh, I want something that's not, I know it's going to be sound a little bit strange, but sometimes I feel like, oh, I want something that isn't Japanesey, and I might end up having Japanese curry. Even though it's Japanesey, it's sort of like, it's kind of Western in a weird way, right? Does anybody understand where I'm going with that? Hey, Jennifer. I am feeling better in some ways, but not quite there. As in, now I have a cough, which I didn't have. Like, I have quite a progressive cough. And I have, like, it's all gone to my head. So, yeah. But I am feeling better. I am tired. I am feeling better, though. But hey. Curry is brought to Japan by the British Navy. I can imagine Japan always steals things. Ah, the British Navy. I read, this is not Japan related, but I was reading an article debating what the true national dish of the UK is, because for those of you who don't know, the national dish of the UK, the national dish of the UK is, tell me if you know what the national dish of the UK is, and I will tell you if you're right or if you're wrong. But a lot of people get this wrong. But there's this debate which is happening now about changing the national dish officially to something else, which is kind of interesting, I think, in the UK. Curry rice, no. Jennifer, it's not curry rice, although you're kind of close. You're kind of close. Japanese curry is super unique because it uses French cooking methods. Interesting, I can imagine that. So, as nobody is really... Bangers and mash. No, not bangers and mash. The question is, what is the national dish of the UK? Enjoy, man. Enjoy. I am very jealous. What is the national dish of the UK? What is the national dish of the UK? Dun dun dun. What is the national dish of the UK? And the national dish of the UK is... Dun dun dun. Nope. It's chicken tikka masala. The national dish of the UK is chicken tikka masala, by the way. And chicken tikka masala is a type of curry, by the way. Yes. Say what exactly? You can Google it. I'm not lying. This is truth. This is truth. the national dish of the UK is chicken tikka masala, which is very delicious, I must say. Let me just show you. It's a curry. And I totally recommend that you that you give it a go, because it is very nice. Let's see. Let's see if I can get a picture for you of chicken tikka masala. Now I'm getting hungry. I'm getting hungry now. I want chicken tikka masala now. Okay, let's bring it in. Okay, this is chicken tikka masala. You should be able to see it. It's the UK's national dish, surprisingly, and it's delicious. And the idea, the story behind it, and the reason why I said it is because Tawada sort of, reminded me. He said that they got it. The Navy took it to Japan, curry, and this is sort of similar. The idea is that obviously because India was like a colony of the UK, of Great Britain, and the curry was I don't know, like the story is something along the lines that like a sailor or a British person or whatever, they asked for chicken tikka, and it was dry and it was just chicken like in the oven, and they sent it back saying, oh, it doesn't have any sauce. It doesn't have any sauce. So they added like a curry sauce to it, and chicken tikka masala was born, and now it's a national dish of the UK, which is kind of funny. And the UK has incredible Indian food, I have to say. So a boiled mutton meat pie, interesting. Pot pie, haggis. Say what? You can read the history. It's quite an interesting history. But what I was going to say was that there's a debate. The debate that's happening is that this should be the national dish of the UK. Which is kind of funny. I find this funny, but I sort of agree also. I think this should be the national dish of the UK, to be honest. Let me just get the image for you. Do you know what this is? What do you call this? What do you call this, guys? So the top one is chicken tikka masala. And what is the bottom one that I've done? That's right, Nick. But you're from the UK. You're cheating, right? So there's a big debate going on currently, where a lot of people are saying, wait a minute, actually there's more sausage rolls sold in the UK than chicken tikka masala, and there's a lot more people eating sausage rolls than chicken tikka masala. So sausage rolls should be the British or the UK national dish. And you know what? It sort of makes sense. Sausage rolls, I think, are very British. I don't know if you get them anywhere else around the world, but from what I've been seeing, a lot of people come to the UK and they go to Greggs for sausage rolls, for example. And it's basically a sausage in puff pastry. Anyway, that was like super deviating from Japan. But fun, nonetheless, interesting. Sausage rolls, not pig in blanket sausage rolls. Pigs in blankets, nope. Pigs in blankets are different. Sausage rolls, indeed. You get them in Australia, I'm guessing. Every time the British pop group Squeeze tours the US, one of the lead singers, Chris Difford, always posts Instagram photos of good curry restaurants he's found in the US. They are few and far between. In London, there are so many good curries. Here in Gibraltar, we have quite a few really nice Indian restaurants also. Not sure if you'd call it a dish. Or maybe rephrase it to the national food of the UK. What is the national food of the UK? National food of the UK. Oh look, full English breakfasts, the most popular British dishes, apparently now. There's so many, but it's all interesting nonetheless. I thought it was an interesting thing. Beans on toast. It's when you're in Japan that you start craving. If you travel maybe for 2 weeks or so, you won't get this really. But if you travel for more than 2 weeks, you start getting this like I need Western food moment. It happens to me probably around my 2-week mark, where I go like, I need a McDonald's in me, or I need pizza, or I need a burger in me. It happens surprisingly more often than not. It's kind of funny. Oh boy. So, on the topic of taking video and photo, I think what I'm trying to say is, don't worry too much about it and just read the air around you, you know? Like, just look around and see, you know, is this a... And also, if you're going to be discreet and you're going to like take a quick picture, and most people, you know, nowadays with their phones, you can take a picture with your phone, you know, and half the time, photos and videos are taken with a phone. It's when you have a big camera like me, that's when you have a problem. Japanese bacon is really like strange. It's usually thick. I think sausage rolls are overhyped though. I would rather have a shepherd's cottage pie as a national dish. Oh yeah, I love cottage pie. Yeah. Never crave other food whilst I'm in Japan. Really? Interesting. I want a pizza in Japan, but paying 5,000 yen for small pizza was not worth it. There's a chain in Japan. What is it called? A pizza chain where you pay like 2,000 yen for all you can eat pizza. Shakey's Pizza, I think it's called. Shakey's Pizza. You pay like 2,000 or so yen, and you get a 90-minute like slots where you can eat as much pizza as you want, or 1 hour slot or whatever. So that might be something to look out for, Gerald, next time you're in Japan. Right? Chicken snacks wraps. I've never had that, Mina. That looks really good. Chicken snack wraps. Were they like small? Guys, I'm only about maybe 250 watch hours away from monetization. Yay. I don't think we'll do it in this trip. Maybe we'll get to it by the end of the trip, but it doesn't matter. It's all good. At this rate, I'll be putting out a video out on Happy Gaijin like once a day, pretty much one video a day, throughout the month of December, more or less. So if you do think that there's something that you'd like me to check out, or you want commentary on, like a video specifically, let me know. Yeah? And don't forget, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. If you're new, I would really appreciate it. And a like to the channel is also very, very much appreciated. Thank you very much. How many days? I think it's 6 days, and no, I haven't packed at all because I've been sick, and I'm actually still sick, I think. So today I went into work because we had like a Secret Santa exchange gift thingy at work. But then after work, there was after work Christmas drinks, etc. But I didn't go to that because I just haven't been feeling up to it. Tomorrow I'll go to work, but it's we finish a little bit earlier. And on Friday, we have a Christmas party, so I'll see how I'm feeling. Because I don't want to overdo it. I might just go for the food and then return home. We'll see. Hopefully by Friday I'm feeling better. I do feel like I'm getting better every day. Just maybe it's the medication. I think I'm gonna wheeze off the medication that I'm on. Tomorrow I might be the last day that I take it, and then on Friday I won't take it. I don't think, because it just makes me really, really drowsy. Really drowsy. They weren't that big, and they were on the value menu, so you could get like 2 of them for a good price. They had grilled chicken or crispy, and it had honey mustard cheese and lettuce. It does sound like a nice snack. A few spoons of honey, drink ginger tea, and eat some wasabi. Eat some wasabi. Oh, somebody said something about Vicks before. Who was it? There was a message, but I didn't get to it. Who said something about Vicks? Or am I imagining that? Somebody said you should put Vicks. I don't know what. Or maybe I've totally imagined that. Maybe I have, like, totally imagined that. I've totally imagined that, haven't I? Anyway. Yeah, thanks, Frog Lady. I mean, I'm gonna end soon, probably in the next few minutes. Make it an hour, more or less. Just because I want to take this kind of really strong medication that I'm taking, but it helps with the cough and it helps me sleep at night. But if I would have taken it before the stream, I'll be falling asleep now, and I don't think that would be. Maybe it would be a fun stream for you. It would be like. Maybe that will get all the watch hours that I need. And this morning, I was laughing because yesterday's reaction, one of the things was the stealing of the panties, and I said as a joke, coming soon, like underwear merch. And we had a little bit of a joke, and then I was thinking about it, and I was thinking, how funny would it be to have underwear that says Happy Gaijin on it? It's a dry cough, huh? Any doctors in the chat? Any doctors in the chat? Boy, oh boy. It was Frog Lady that said to put Vicks on your feet and then wear socks over them when you go to bed. Okay, I will do that. I have Vicks, so I knew it was something, but I knew I read something. You'll find it in Donkey, probably. Change it to make Gaijin happy. Yeah. You can pretty much find anything in Donkey. Although, yeah, it can be a little bit of a headache in there. You need to go prepared, you know. I find. I love going to Donkey, but I need to be in the right mindset. Know that potentially I might be in there for a little bit longer than I anticipate. Each reaction video was serious. I'm still trying to understand the guard wig. Yeah, right? There has been a bit of a flu outbreak in the UK. Not sure if Gibraltar has been the same. Yes, Nick, it has been the same. I've got a feeling that I've had the flu. That's what I think. I think I'm coming out of the flu. I was sick on Saturday and Sunday, pretty much wiped out. And on Monday, on Tuesday, I didn't go to work. And now it's Wednesday and I finally went to work. So some of my work colleagues have been sick with the flu. So it might have been the flu. Although it might also have been like just a cold. Because they're so similar sometimes. I just don't know which one is which. What it could have been. And really I should have gone to the doctor. But I didn't. Donkey is good for Kit Kats generally, but really the best bet for the Kit Kats is to actually go to one of the Kit Kat confectionaries. Anyone see Tokyo Lens eating all the possible Kit Kats? I started watching it and then I found it a little bit boring. Not boring, but like there's only so much Kit Kat eating that I can watch. But there were some really interesting flavors. So it's one of those videos that I would probably end up watching, but I will watch the whole video, but probably not in one sitting. What's everyone watching? Has anybody got any interesting Christmas movies or series on their lists that you recommend? Waiting for the follow-up, going to the doctor due to too much sugar. Yeah, that's going to be the next... No, but you've got it wrong there, Gerald. It will be, I went to the tiniest doctor's office due to too much sugar. That's what it would be. That's what it would be for sure. Breaking news, Tokyo Lens diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. Oh no. Kit Kat eating review. Yeah, when did Die Hard become like a Christmas movie? It's just one of those really odd movies that became a Christmas movie. But just because I feel like I haven't done this, it doesn't matter if nobody's donated, but I really want to show some confetti. Yay! Yeah, it's always it always gets a little bit worse at night. Also the coughing, right? The Crown. I gave up on the last season of The Crown. For some reason, I just I liked all the other seasons, but then yeah. Muppets Christmas Carol, Tradition in Your House. I watch Home Alone. Usually. But I want to watch something new. I feel like I want to watch something new. So, yeah. Oh. Hey, Cayman. I guess Die Hard because it happens at the Nakatomi Plaza Christmas party. Really? I haven't watched Die Hard in so long that I think I might need to watch it. Because I have watched it quite a few times, but I can't remember too much. Because I probably haven't watched it in like 5 years or something. So... Journey Across Japan, yeah, I've been watching it slowly. It's amazing, the production team that he has. It's impressive. Ooh, Doctor Who. I've never been super into Doctor Who, but every now and then around Christmas, it's sort of quite Christmassy also, I must admit, yeah. Wait, is that the new Godzilla movie? There's a new Godzilla movie, isn't it? But is it out? Like, can I watch it? Interesting. I'm going to start closing the stream now at the 1 hour mark. So, if anyone does have... Thanks, I haven't. I want to watch that, by the way, Jim. If anybody has any last minute questions, suggestions, I'll try to do one last stream before I go. And there'll definitely be some more reaction videos. I just need to figure out what to react to. I've started to run out. So if you have any suggestions, send me a message, please. If you find a video that you think I should be looking at, please let me know. Anyway, on that note, I am about to have some meds to help me tonight so I don't overcough. Ooh, okay. Kingman, I'm going to check it out for sure. All right, PG, I will also. Thank you very much. Thanks. Definitely will. It's been fun. Please check out my latest video. Everyone, see you on the next stream, next video, next premiere. I'm not very sure. Stay positive and be a happy gaijin, everyone. And thanks for being here. Take care.